The Brewers called up Bradley Blalock for his major league debut earlier this week. Blalock is a guy they acquired last year for Luis Urias from Boston. Kind of has an interesting background in the minors, didn't pitch a whole lot, but then pitched well lately, and they called him straight up from AA-Biloxi. So here's a little bit of background information and then some stats and scouting on Bradley Blalock. Blalock was originally a 32nd round pick of the Red Sox back in 2019, and that's a round that no longer exists. But at the same time, he wasn't necessarily a 32nd round talent. He was someone that was given an overslot bonus to sign away from his commitment to Kennesaw State. He was able to latch on with the Red Sox, but then 2020, pandemic cancels the season, doesn't pitch at all, pitches some in 21, and then tears his UCL, needs Tommy John surgery in 2022, misses the whole year. He was really off to a good start in 2023, but already as a 22-year-old in Single A, the Brewers decide to acquire him for Luis Urias. Kind of an intriguing arm, but one that was relatively inexperienced when they got him. Continued his run of good performance after entering the Brewers organization. And now, just a year later, not even a year later, he's in the big leagues. Blalock had a 2.27 ERA and a 1.04 whip across about 35 innings with AA-Biloxi. For him to get the call straight from AA to the big leagues, of course, is a surprise to fans. He even said that he was surprised. It really wasn't on his radar at all to be going straight to the big leagues, and it is pretty rare. It happens sometimes. Most recently, I remember it happening with some of the guys in 2015. I think Hauser was one of them. Jorge Lopez may have been another who got to the majors without going to AAA. But it is pretty rare, and Blalock was one of those guys. He's got a four-seam fastball that sits in the 92 to 96 range. He's also got a curveball, splitter, and slider. His curveball is his next best pitch. The Brewers see it as potentially an out pitch. That's his best breaking ball. A slider keeps hitters honest a little bit, and the splitter has gradually gotten better, but not quite all the way there, or at least as of MLB Pipeline's most recent time scouting Blalock. He can provide length. He's got a starting background. 48 of his 49 appearances in the minors were starts, but at the same time, they didn't really indicate that he would be entering the rotation right away. I think it's more likely that he does that now, considering Joe Ross got hurt in last night's ball game, strained his lower back, and because of that, they'll need a starter. Hall isn't ready to jump back into the rotation yet, so it's possible Blalock takes that spot. I think maybe they'll get Blalock a relief appearance for his major league debut, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then next time around, Joe Ross's outing or Joe Ross's scheduled start will go to Bradley Blalock. So the Brewers are calling up Bradley Blalock, already the 40th player that will be used by the Brewers this year. He's someone that is a legitimate prospect. I think long-term we may see him as a back-end starter, and he might even slot into the rotation as soon as next week. But Blalock making the jump straight from AA-Biloxi in a Brewers uniform now in May.